Good morning from Vienna, the capital of Austria. Now, Vienna's famous for many things. It's called the City of Music. There's lots of history in this city. But first I wanted to come here to see what I think is a bit of a more unusual thing. Apparently there's a micronation, a mini country in this park here. Or somewhere near this park, I'm not sure. So, before I go and check out the food, the culture and the history of Vienna, let's see if I can find this country, this republic. Now this republic is called, I think it's called the Republic of Kugel Mugel. And Kugel Mugel, it was actually a house, a spherical shaped house built by an Australian artist in the 70s. And I think he didn't have planning permission, something like that. And the government threatened to tear it down. So he declared a republic. And to this day, I think it's still a bit tongue-in-cheek. They call it a republic, but nobody lives there. It's more of a museum. And it should be somewhere in this park. So apparently to get to Kugel Mugel, I have to pass through this amusement park? Yeah, that's what you call it. It's quite a cool looking old Ferris wheel though. Just before I came in the theme park, I asked the guy at the ticket booth, I said, Kugel Mugel? And he gives me a blank look. And then I showed him on Google Maps, Kugel Mugel, and he says, Kugel Mugel. So I'm getting the pronunciation wrong, but I'm not sure how. Because what I heard him say is what I said. But maybe I'm not saying it in quite the right voice. But I can see it up ahead, I think this is it. Well, here we are at the Republic of Kugel Mugel. They even have some barbed wire, like a real border. But I don't know if it's open. And the address is 2 Anti-Fascist Plaza. Because the government, who asked him to tear this down, presumably he called them fascists. But I think you can't go in, which is a bit of a shame. Because I heard there was like there's a small museum or something inside. But maybe I came with the wrong day. Well, since I can't get into the Republic of Kugel Mugel, I'm gonna tick that off the list. I'm gonna head to the more traditional area of, where people go. I think it's called Inner Strauss. It's like an old city surrounded by a ring road. So I'm gonna head over there and see what's there. So I think I'm in the inner part of the city now, or the inner part of the old city. So so I'm just looking for spires because there should be a cathedral in the center. And that looks promising. Oh. Let's take a look at this mural. I'm not sure what that is. Because at the bottom it says something like restaurant. So maybe if somebody knows they can say in the comments, because I don't really know what that says. Maybe this is the place I can come for schnitzel at lunch. I think they open at, what's that, 11 o'clock? Hopefully you don't need to make a reservation, because some places here are really busy. What's just that? It's like 20 euros for a schnitzel. Actually, I saw this advert at the airport. It's 20 euros for a schnitzel, which seems a bit steep, but I don't know the price. I just keep following these narrow alleys, and hopefully we'll come out somewhere. Somewhere central. Wow, it's expensive. I feel like this is Russian Orthodox Jesus. Just the gold thing behind the back of the head, but I could be wrong. So if you want to cross... Oh, here we go. That's the cathedral. That's St.Stephens Cathedral, I think. So I heard that in the war, the second one, a lot of the church was destroyed. Including the roof. So the roof is kind of like a more recent addition. And I think if I can go back a bit. Just go back a bit so I can show you the roof from one side. On the one side, this one I think is the flag or the seal for Vienna, and on the other side this is the flag for Austria. I think that's right. And then it's different on the other side. So walk around the other side and see, because they have something different on the other side. But it's funny, the ruling dynasty here, the Habsburgs, they very often crown themselves Holy Roman Empires, And Voltaire, the philosopher, he said, it's not Roman, it's not holy, and it's not an empire. I don't know how true that last part is, because it seems like they did kind of have an empire. But maybe what he meant was they were just using this Holy Roman as a fancy sounding title. Because it does sound kind of cool, right? This plaza, I think, is the place where you get the, if you search on Google, probably this is the view that you get from this side rather than the other side. It's not too busy. Let's have a look.
Our brains in music solving. Some genius creators with those things. Maybe think creators, not designers.
It's free to go inside, but if you want to go into the cathedral part, €7. The catacombs is €7. North Tower is €7. South Tower is €7. Like, you kind of have to pay if you want to go up into some of the less busy places, if we can call them that. Let's have a walk around here, because the whole area is historic, so there should be some other stuff. This is Vienna Opera House. Come here if you have time to go and see some of the operas that they have on show. But I'm just passing by. So I might go to the cathedral a bit later, because they have Vivaldi. It's only €20. The cheapest ticket is €20. Mozart. Oh, that's today. I wonder which costs more, taxi or the horse-drawn carriage. A taxi from the airport yesterday night cost me €75. It was only 20 minutes. Apparently there's a sausage stand just down from here. I think Mick Jagger once visited it. I think I remember reading that. So come up and take a look, and then go and get some, what's it called? Some wurst first. This is Franz Joseph. Franz Joseph was, I think he was the last member of the Habsburg dynasty. So he ruled until like the end of the dynasty, until World War I think. I'm hoping this place is open, because there's no one that's lining up outside. Which is good for me, but if I didn't know better, I'd say I have the wrong place. I can eat here? It's okay? I can eat here?
No, I don't think so.
The pretzel and the hot dog.
Thank you.
Yeah, you couldn't eat more than one of these because of the cheese.
That's so cute, yes.
This is good because I didn't have breakfast. I didn't have dinner last night, so I'm really hungry. You see all the sausages. Well, I don't know if you can see. Some pretzels. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with the bread. That really hit the spot. I like meat, but every time I'm in Germany or Czech or this region, after 2 or 3 days, you start to get a bit sick of the meat because it's very rich. You know, like cheese, sausages. You can't eat 3. Well, I can't eat 3. So if I walk down this street, I should come out close to, I think it's called the Hofsburg complex. Is that what it's called? Let me see what it's called. I think I'm mixing up my words. It's called, no, it's called the Hofsburg complex, which is the place where the Habsburgs lived. It's kind of like the royal family's complex. There's another one outside town called, I forget the name, it's like Schonenbrunn or something like that. It's not far from my hotel. I might go to, probably won't have time, but I might go to a bit later today. It's funny, everywhere you go, you see Mozart. Pictures of Mozart. Mozart wasn't actually from here. He's from Salzburg, which is west of here. But I think he spent quite a lot of his life here, like playing music for the royals, writing music. And I think one of his apartments is somewhere here in the city. So might see that if I pass by.
And after
I almost missed it, but the library is supposed to be up ahead, and it's not just a normal library. Like, well, it is a library, but it's supposed to be quite an impressive library. So let's go and take a look. First ticket of the day was €10. You imagine if you're at the library, you'd spend all your time looking at the ceiling, not at the books. confusing lift I've ever been in. Apparently it only goes to 2 floors, but for some reason it's 10 keys and 20 buttons. It's only like, it's quite a small library. When I say small, it's like, there's not a lot of walking to do. But it's worth the €10. It's not, you don't feel like you overpaid, because it's quite spectacular. Even the area where they keep the trash seems to have something historic. Don't know what it is though. I think this is the Spanish horse riding stables. You can smell the manure. But these horses, they're very expensive. Like hundreds of thousands of euros. I guess it's kind of like the Queen of England, or the King of England now has his own, what do you call it, fleet of horses? That's not the right word. Stable of horses, maybe. And so, I guess, once upon a time, the Habsburgs would have had a stable of horses too. And these are called, I think they're called the Spanish horses. This is an interesting looking shop, a hunting shop. So, hunting theme thing. Should I spoil myself and spend 800 euros on a horse-headed walking stick? I think I'll give it a miss today. Maybe next time. It's an interesting looking Starbucks too. I think these statues at the front, 4 men, it's the same man. I think it's supposed to be Hercules. But then there's 2 men there, so I'm not sure. I might check out this museum, the Sisi Museum, a bit later. She was like one of the more interesting princesses. Well, I don't want to say interesting. I feel like she didn't do anything, but she wanted to look good. Well, I'll go to the museum and learn a bit more about her later, but so the guy on the statue, one of the Habsburgs, I think, it's called Franz I, or Franz II, and he's dressed in Roman dress because he thought of himself as more of a traditional kind of emperor. And he's both the first and the second because he's Franz II of the Holy Roman Empire, Franz I of Austria, I think. Maybe he just wanted to be first, so he decided second is not enough, I'm gonna also be Franz I. So this is Franz I and the second. Here in this square called Helden Platz. It's quite nice. The whole square is surrounded by historic buildings with the statues. And then this building here, I think now it's a museum. But this up here on the balcony is where Hitler announced the annexation of Austria in 1938. So I've heard that there's a little bit of debate maybe about what to do with this balcony. A lot of Hitler-related things. I think in other countries they tend to, tear them down so they don't become like I don't know, places for neo-Nazis to worship or something like that. But yeah, in 1938, I think a lot of people would have stood in this square. Most people stayed at home, but a lot of people would have stayed in the square to come and watch the announcement. Oh, now I can see it's the National Library. Then across from this building here, the library is well, this building was originally built as like a celebratory building. It's one of the Austrian archdukes. He beat Napoleon in a battle, so I think they built this building just to kind of commemorate that. Napoleon was not invincible. Napoleon beat him later in another battle, but yeah, now this is kind of like I think it's like a general war memorial for the dead of the various wars that Austria's been involved in. I think we're now on this road here is the outer ring road, which is where the old city walls would have been long ago, but they were torn down with this project. And so if you follow this ring road around, apparently there's lots of impressive architecture, stuff like that. On the other side of the road from the war memorial is this big statue. There's some museums, well, two museums, one on either side. But the statue of Maria Theresa, well, she was an interesting lady. She had a lot of children, but the most famous one was Marie Antoinette. And apparently, I'm not going to be able to tell who's who. But apparently, at the bottom of this statue, there's some statues of Haydn, Mozart. Exactly who's Mozart and who's Haydn, I can't really tell. If you come just behind this was the square with the museum that we're in just now. Right now I'm walking onto the ring road, which kind of like encircles the old city. Which it's only in the 19th century that they tore down the original city walls, and the ring that the city walls formed was what they made into this road, which kind of sounds a bit disappointing, you know. Why would you do that? Why would you tear down old city walls? But that's what they did, and now this road is apparently surrounded by some fairly spectacular architecture. So I'm gonna have to walk around and take some of it in. I feel like I'm jaywalking here. And I think one of these buildings up here is the Austrian Parliament. I mean, just at first glance, I don't really know that much about architecture, but this kind of looks Greek. Right, if you go and see the Parthenon or some of the palaces in Greece, this is kind of what they look like. Maybe I'm mixing up my architecture, but it looks very classic. Yeah, this is Austrian Parliament. Parliament Ostrag. I wonder if I can go in. I want to get something to drink first. Or maybe they have a shop inside. Let's see. Some of the statues of the guys walking up. Some of these are, I think, like Greek thinkers. I don't know this guy. But I assume this is Herodotus. And let's see who this is. Polybibs. I don't know who this is, but they all look like thinkers. You know, they all have a scroll in their hand. They're all sitting in that thinker's pose. From here, you can see all the way back to the cathedral in the distance there. See if we can go in the Parliament. There's a door, but that door's not open, so maybe I have to go in through the bottom. I guess this is the name of the sculptor. Stadt, 1898. Tacitus, I know Tacitus. And let's see who this is. Caesar? But there's something in front of his name that's, maybe it's a different Caesar. St.Stephens. Across the street, behind me there's the University of Vienna, and then up here, this house. I don't remember the name. It's something like Baltic House or something like that. Go up and take a look. Beethoven spent some time here. So some of the songs that he wrote, presumably written while he stayed here, when he was, I guess, living here. Yeah, here we go. What's it called? It's called Pasquality House. Pasquality House. So Beethoven lived here several times. Between 1804 and 1815. Mozart, he stayed at a lot of places in Vienna too. There's one place still open, which is like it's called Mozart's house. I don't know if I'm gonna have a chance to go there, but apparently he moved from place to place because he liked to party. So he'd get his money and he'd spend it. And when he had money, he'd live in a nice place. And didn't have money, he'd live in a not so nice place. Just missed the opening hours. I think they're breaking for lunch, so I have to give that a miss for today. But I ran out of battery just now, and I had to head back to my hotel to pick up another battery. And just to refresh myself, but it's good because it gives you a chance to, well, it gives me a chance to walk through some more suburban places, not far from the city, like 25 minutes by public transport. But most of these houses here, they're like small terraced houses, and then they have, I guess you call them flats or apartments here. And there's some shops and some restaurants. Just up ahead, there's a small square, I think. The fact that the water fountain is on tells me that there's some maintenance going on, that this is not just like one of those, you know, some places you see the housing estates and they've just been left to rot. This is not one of those places, because if it was, it wouldn't be this clean and you wouldn't have water features and things like that. Somewhere near here, there's a famous cafe. It might be the most famous cafe in North Vienna. It's called Cafe Central, and I think it's been around for more than 100 years. And famous people have sat at this cafe. I imagine Freud. Some of these super famous people from the past century all went to this cafe. But I think there's a line. Like, you have to usually make a reservation. So if the line's a bit too crazy, I think I'll try and find somewhere else. But just go and take a look. Oh, this is it. Oh, that's an impressive building. Quite a long line. Well, I might come back here tomorrow when it opens. What's tomorrow? Saturday. Yeah, maybe I'll try and do that. So I came to this like famous restaurant. I don't know if you could call it a restaurant, sandwich shop, and they sell these little finger sandwiches. Like this. Actually, I'm not really sure what they are, but they look interesting. Let's try. Let's try this one. I forget what it is. I think it's bacon and egg. Yeah, it's good. It's almost like a puree. Try some of the other ones. I think this is smoked salmon and cream cheese. They're quite good. These four, it's like €6.80. It's not expensive. The finger sandwiches they make a nice change from all the meat. And the problem I'm having is that I'm trying not to drink, but everywhere sells beer, like everywhere. So this place, they ask if I want a beer. The sausage stand, they ask if you want a beer. But they ask if you want a drink, but they have beer. And then even McDonald's here serves beer. I didn't eat McDonald's yet, but I went there earlier because I was looking for a drink. Couldn't find a place that sold water, and they sell beer too. So it's not a good place to come if you if you're trying to stay sober. But this street, it's full of like these antique shops, art shops. Wow. I don't see a price, but I imagine that's not cheap.
Na, aber das tut mir leid, ich hab da vergessen, das zum sagen, weil ich bin auch erst dann später draufgekommen. Ich hab gesagt, weil sie aber das Rapsöl nicht. Da hat er noch 5 Liter Rapsöl mit drauf. Aber ich gesagt,
It's nice that there are so many independent shops. Okay, a lot of the shops they're selling a lot of expensive stuff. They're boutique shops, really. But it makes a change from like everything being a Zara or H&M or some other chain store. So their business must be good, otherwise they wouldn't be here. It started to rain just now. In the end, I went to Demo, which is also a very famous bakery, cake shop, coffee shop, because there was less of a wait, and I had the chocolate cake, Sarkoch or something like that. Inside the shop is quite impressive. The decor, the shops where they sell like different chocolates, different confectionaries that you can buy. So I think maybe I can give the Central Cafe a miss. I wasn't planning on coming to Cafe Central today because I thought, I'll just have a lay-in. It was a long day yesterday, but I've still got jet lag, so I was up at 5 a.m. this morning, and I'm gonna go to Cafe Central, see if I don't need to line up, and maybe get some breakfast there. It's not the cheapest place to get breakfast, but if it was good enough for Freud, for Trotsky, then it should be good enough for me. And when you come out at this time of the morning, the streets are yours. But I wish there was a place that sold coffee, and I haven't found it yet, so it might have to be Cafe Central. For Cafe Central to open, and I found this place. I don't know what it is, but it looks quite cool. I'll show you. It's like I guess it's like an indoor shopping mall. Some delicatessens, I guess you call them. There are wine and cheeses, chocolates. never sure if I'm allowed in these places. Like you might be walking into some hotel. Well, I guess you could go in a hotel, but pretty nice looking space. There's solid marble sink outside. Oh, Paolo Lente is like an Italian brand for, I think, outdoor furniture. So maybe that's why. Cafe Central was nice. Coffee was a bit different. Lots of cream. More cream than I'm used to. Normally I just drink black coffee. But yeah, it's alright. And the service is great. I came to this, I think you can call it it's like a long island that they built as kind of like a buffer to stop the river from flooding the city, because Vienna is built on the banks of the river Danube, and that's why I came here this morning, because if the city's built on the banks of the river, it seems a bit strange that I'd come without actually seeing the river. And across the water you can see some more modern buildings. What's that, PwC, or maybe some apartment blocks. But I'm here for the river. This is, I think it's the second largest river in Europe, or second longest, I should say. And it flows through so many countries that, well, over the next few days, I'll be visiting a few of those countries. But it's probably around a dozen countries, if I remember right. The water's so still, it's almost as if it's not moving at all. But I think that if you travel this way east, then eventually you'll get to Bratislava and Budapest, and eventually I think Romania, maybe the Ukraine. And there's a man sleeping over there. So I'll see you in 80 kilometers that way.